the meeting.
Yeah. One of us started recording, right? It's getting recorded on cloud, right? The one, anyone who started? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Dwayne, nice to see you. Long time no see.
Yes, yes, hello.
Great. Great. Thank you. Um, cool. So I think we have a good amount of participants joining. We can get started. The session is getting recorded, so anyone who misses it can join in. I mean, can watch the recording later. Okay, welcome everyone. So this month's level up is to share with you all some new features and also some of the share from some of the NGOs, some things that some innovations that they've implemented to simplify the process of onboarding users onto the chatbot. Um, Before I go any further, I would like you all to, since all of you, majority of you are who are using chatbot, who are either Glyphic or otherwise. So if you can take a minute, think about it, and put it in the in the chat box. What are some of the challenges that you have faced as you try to onboard folks, onboard contacts, onboard users onto your chatbot? So maybe if you can think about it for a minute, I'll just put the question again. Use the chat box to type your answer. If you're feeling like you want to unmute and share, you can raise your hand and we can then have some people sharing in. So, what are some of the challenges that you have faced as you try to onboard um, people into the chatbot? Okay. Chobin, do you want to maybe expand a little bit more as you mentioned onboarding methods? Like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
just a little bit, yeah,
sure. So we work with the migrant communities,
right,
and the chatbot is designed for the migrant community. So initially, our plan was to use QR code for enrolling, or sorry, onboarding migrant workers. And what we
right,
found that 70 to 80% of the migrant workers were not able to scan the QR codes as they're using outdated, like very old Android phones. So we had to use, like, we had to send individually links, chat links to onboard them. So we
got it,
understood that only latest phone will help you to
right.
onboard through QR code.
So getting a like method you want to use was scanning the QR code, but there were some technology challenges in the target
Yes,
audience that you encountered.
correct,
Okay,
correct.
Kiran, do you also want to quickly share a bit about getting different groups into collections? Maybe like just
Mhm.
enrich it with some of your use case information.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So we are trying to work with different groups, right from, for example, on the ground, ASHA workers or Anganwadi teachers or school teachers. And also, we are also working with different people who are working in the government sector. And also, these are one spread local. They are also in one particular location. Point number one, and second, they're also spread across the geographies. So we are, and also, our aim is to see if we send context specific communications to them. So getting them, for example, we work with community health officers in Madhya Pradesh and also uh, Anganwadi teachers in Assam. So there is a
Got it,
difference of message that we want to give, nudges that have to go. And since
got it,
onboarding them on different groups, then we'll have to
right,
design our nudges in separate manners. And that's where
got
onboarding
it,
them needs
got
to
it.
also, that is where we are actually facing a challenge, but we have figured out a way, but it's a long process. It's a lengthy
Got
process
it.
as of now.
So it's like if there was an easy way for you to group people who are from similar geographies as they're
Yes,
doing it,
yes.
so that
Hmm.
becomes like grouping into similar collections.
Yeah, yes.
Dwayne, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Kiran. You wanted to finish your thought?
No, that is done.
Okay, thank you. Dwayne, do you want to add anything more? Is it similar to what Kiran said? Is it something more?
And to add to that, also when we onboard users, we ask them certain questions like which NGO are you from and what level are you? Are you from senior leadership, middle management? But along with that, I also want to ask a few more questions like are you a part of our LMS? If you're not, then I need a few more details like your email address, your first name, last name, mobile number. So in the first
Right,
shot, how much information can you ask? Because if you ask too much information, then it's like
correct.
you're asking for too much. Now I stop. So where does that onboarding end?
Got it. Got it. Okay, interesting. So a couple of couple of challenges here. One is what could be like as you get them to first interact with your chatbot? Like, what's the easiest way for someone to a large number of people to first just come onto your chatbot? Like whether scanning the QR code, clicking the link, if there can be something more easier than that. And then second is then once they onboard, then getting them what's the right amount of information you can capture, getting to know all the details about the user so that you can bucket them accordingly or engage them later on in a contextual way. So these are some of the problems that have come up so far. Happy to just spend a minute more, maybe 30 seconds more if there's any other things that you can think about, any other issues that any other challenges that you have faced. If not, we have some points, like some features that we want to showcase which can definitely benefit, and we can brainstorm together on most of these challenges. Cool. So I guess no more. I think yeah, and that's okay. We'll yeah. Just feel free to share as you also see as you start seeing and you have a question. You can just feel free to raise your hand. So we want to share you five methods, like five different ideas or solutions that with which you can kind of like simplify the onboarding for your users. Before I go ahead, like just want to give you like a generic onboarding funnel, like 90% of us will follow this, just so that we are rooted in the same context. So one, there is like a large, like a world of sorry. Okay. So initially there's like a world of population that could be our potential users, their potential contacts for your programs. From that, through some channels, you have access to through a particular channel, you have access to a certain number of people. So, for example, let's take a case of an education NGO. All the young people in the 9th to 10th grade could be their potential audience, but maybe they have partnership with only certain schools. So with the certain schools, like let's say like they had 10 schools, I'm going to ask if you can help me by muting the person who's.
Tejas, can you make me the admin or the host, co-host, so that I
Yeah, I've
can
made you the
control that?
co-host. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'll control that.
Yeah. Thanks. So imagine you have again, like I'm just putting this as I'm sure 90 I mean most of us will know this. I'll breeze through this quickly. There's a certain number of people that we can get access to through our channels. From that the number of people we have access to, there'll be a certain number of people who will be actually present either in WhatsApp groups where we send the messages, or in person when we have the contact, or through online meetings. So like let's say in a class of 50, suppose I have access to a class of 50 from a particular school. Maybe on the day that I decide to go and meet those students or meet those folks, maybe only 30 will join, maybe only 40 will join in that session or be present on that day. So that's like the next level. And then after your pitch or after your interaction, you give them a call to action to join and onboard. And that's where, like, I mean, so these are like, this is a pre chatbot and pre everything. This step is where once you actually give the call to action, and the number of people who decide to join the chatbot based on your call to action. So this is a point D. That's where like you want to make sure that as many people. So your call to action is easy to understand. It's easy to do for the target audience that you have. Suppose knowing their context, and then based on that, how many people start the first interaction to those people who complete the onboarding, which means that you have enough information about them so that you can engage them at a later point, or they have enough information about you to make the best use of your service, or the product that you're offering to them, or the program that they are part of. So just generic onboarding, and again after this is like where the engagement and all those things are. But we are trying to be going to focus on this point D, on how you can get as many first time users to come onto your chatbot, and how you can get like if there's some high friction steps on getting the information, what are some ways to reduce those friction. So yeah, so we are going to focus on D and E, but just a quick info about like B and C, before even getting to the chatbot, like what some interesting things that we have observed is that if you can get face-to-face in-person sessions, online sessions where you can actually meet them, pitch them your idea, show them something, show them videos, answer their questions, will lead to much better results, like close to like 50-60%, 60-70% conversion from, I know, like if I'm meeting 50 people, if I give them an intro on joining my particular program, joining the chatbot, I'm like in-person session is always going to be much more effective than just sending messages or them happening upon your social media post or seeing it somewhere offline. So this is like one major learning, and this thing, a good trend we have seen that on in-person sessions help. Obviously, good explainers, content helps. So usually in content or explainers, just something to keep in mind is don't put out things like chatbot flows, keywords. These are something for the NGO staff, for us to kind of be aware of, get used to. But we can focus on like just providing, calling out the values that is getting provided to the users. For example, as Reap Benefit, one of the main values of the chatbot was to get connected with the community of problem solvers. So getting focus on, hey, you will get information on the problem solvers near you about events that are going to happen, instead of including flows, like including words like keywords or chatbot or flows in the content that you use to onboard, is usually a good idea. And then having, as you onboard them, having pre-videos like, okay, what to expect, something like that. Or as the contacts are going through your flows, if not videos, even short like pictures, like, okay, to send your name, example, Tejas, so that they know how to kind of like format the response that you are eliciting from them. So sharing examples or videos or even screenshots of what is expected as the input by them, that has usually gone a long way towards getting good, clean inputs from the contacts at scale. And then obviously, like the last point is, as much as you can think of, reduce it. Once you create a conversation to onboard, if you can slash it by 50%, you should slash it, because many times there's a lot of information we ask which we don't really need. So reducing the content to be consumed, decisions to be made by the for the users, if that can be simplified and reduced as much as possible, that should be the highest priority. And then lastly, I want to bring a point at one counterintuitive approach. Many times, many NGOs, like 90% of us, fall into the trap of, like how we see onboarding forms on normal websites. Like log in with Google. So that means you're asking for email ID, you're asking for their name, you're asking for some of these other information. One counterintuitive approach is, do not ask for questions to begin with, but maybe as soon as someone starts the conversation with your chatbot, give them the value, show them what they can do with it, instead of asking for questions like right away. Because once they're on your chatbot, you can always get information from them by asking, sending them messages later, and you can get information in small tidbits. For example, yeah, so that's just one of the counterintuitive approach. Like this is something like, this is borrowed, not really very genuine idea, but it's borrowed from, there is this, like how they sell self freemium. So you start editing video in some online software, you have edited half of the video, or like you have done some amount of work, but now that if you have to download the video, you have to give them your email ID. And you can still download the video, but then you have to give your email ID. So that's how, so if you are able to demonstrate value first, so if there's a way you can do, like, okay, give them a small, give some sort of, show some small or medium advantage or benefit that they are getting from your chatbot, and then ask for information. So that's another thing you can consider. That way, the retention and the like getting the information of your users can actually drastically increase. Just some learnings to begin with, but now I want to go into the actual showcasing some of the features that you can use. So the first thing that I want to focus on is also at any point, like if I'm going too fast, please kind of like raise your hand, and or you can use the chat box and ask your questions. If you have questions at any point at what I'm sharing, or any other tangential like thoughts or points that you want to add on, feel free to just raise your hand or put it in the chat box. If you've got this, can you give me a thumbs up so that I'm aware that you're all comfortable with just sharing questions? Thank you, Kiran. Cool. So yeah, feel free to just put your questions, and if you have any other thoughts that occur to you as I'm sharing. If you have any other learnings that I may, like if you would like to share, that also more than welcome. So I think the first new thing, and we introduced this thing in the platform recently as a way to widen the funnel, like the number of people who are interacting with your chatbot for the first time. So we are calling, I mean, this is the it's by importing a lot of importing contacts directly onto your chatbot through the backend, and then you initiating the first message to them. So instead of so all this while, how we have preached or how we have asked NGOs to onboard is by getting the users to send the first message. Always get the users send the first message, initiate the interaction, click on the link so that it takes you to your chatbot, scan the QR code so it takes you to the chatbot. So we have all this while we have very mindfully asked NGOs to follow this way, and our approach is still to get our approach is that and what we say is please try to get more contacts to send the first message, but many times it's not possible that like for folks to have their chat like their phone on the spot. It's not possible for them to send the message to you right away. Maybe they are students, maybe they don't have the phone, maybe they're in bad network area. So it could be a bunch of other reasons. Another times, you may have contacts already onboarded on some of your other tech platforms, some LMS, some other sort of database where like of your previous donors or previous since many NGOs are running for a long time. So you have a lot of database of contacts who you can potentially engage with in a new way. So by to get them to send the message again and ask them that information again and do that kind of a thing. So since we have observed this many times and we have had a lot of requests, we have yeah, you can now by yourself on board, upload the all these phone numbers into your Glific into a particular collection and initiate the first message to them. There are certain risks involved, which I'll get into, but essentially source it from the database or of any of your other apps or wherever it is, upload it as contacts and initiate the first message yourself. The first message has to be HSM message. And there is a high risk because if like if you initiate a message to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people at the same time, and a certain number of people, that since they're getting a lot of messages now on WhatsApp, they decide to report it or block it, or like in the reason they say didn't sign up for this, or is spam. So it's likely that the quality rating of the chatbot goes down. It may have consequences of anything between having your chatbot suspended for a day to a week or having it completely banned. So these are all the, I mean, there are some risk involved in this, but that's the like pros and cons of trying to do this thing. I'll just quickly show you a demo and then I can take questions. But yeah, essentially this feature is introduced into the chatbot, like into the Glific platform now. So if you go to the manage and if you go to contacts, there is something called as we have introduced import contacts functionality. We have given you instructions on how to use it, and we have given in clear, very, very clear terms what are the things that you should be aware of. So please read the disclaimer really carefully before you decide to go ahead with this thing. So what we'll do is there is a sample in which sample CSV, basically there's a format in which you should provide the phone numbers. So I'm just like, so the CSV gets downloaded to your to your computer. You can upload it into a drive, open it as Google Sheets, so that then you can see and you can add the details of the people who you want to add. So basically, this will involve adding the name, the phone number, their preferred language, and just so that I can show you this delete over here is if you want to add, you put the delete as 0. If you want to remove some people from your Glyfic platform, you can add their, like, I mean, put their information like this, add delete as 1, and then those people get removed. So essentially, you put this information in this format. Make sure that the formatting is same, and you download this as CSV file. So this gets downloaded to your laptop, and sorry, I got confused as I was doing this thing, so I just renamed it so that I could remember what is the name, what is the CSV that I have to upload. Yeah. And then in your Glific platform, here obviously one of the prerequisites of onboarding people is that you have prior consent from them. So so make sure that you have consent from them. Then you can add them to any collection. Select the collection name. Select the CSV file that you have exported with the contact information, and you'll be directed. Basically, this operation happens in the background, so you can get to know that this contact uploaded is in progress. And essentially, after, like, since there was like very few contacts, so it gets over in a few seconds. So I can see that contact upload is completed now. And if I go to the collections and I search for that collection name, it shows me the contacts that I had uploaded. So, I mean, yeah, so if you see the names, basically John Doe, Emily Davis, this thing. And so again, these are sample, these are like example values. It isn't, they aren't real contacts. So yeah, that's how this works. Before I go ahead, any questions? Happy to take questions right now.
Tejas, there's a question in the chat box. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, no, I can see. So 4
Okay.
columns, absolutely. So, I mean, delete column is essentially like whether it's like a giving information that are you adding contacts or removing contacts. This other columns, name is important and phone number is important. Language, if there's no language entered, like by default, English will be the default language. So any of your messages that you create, it will go in English. So name, phone number, and the delete are, yeah, I mean, yeah, like name and phone number are the most important of these 4.
Oh, sure. I mean, since it's a CSV, I was just curious if not having the language and delete columns would suffice as well. Could I just upload a CSV which only has name and phone number as columns?
As in, yeah, I mean, because you download the sample, so you will have this language and delete anyways in that. It doesn't have to have any value.
I think
And it
it's a
will,
CSV, so since it's a CSV, it needs to have some value, right? It won't take a null. I mean, it won't be an empty. I'll just need to populate it with something.
yeah, no, English can be empty also. That's what I'm saying. Delete, just put it as 0 because that's indicating that you're adding contacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
That helps.
so basically we have given language as a thing because many times we know that the by default there are certain language preference of the audience. In case you don't know, that's fine. You can leave it blank.
That helps. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just in interest of time, we'll quickly go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead. We have one more question. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Hi. So someone has selected language, but in the flow, if there's no Hindi there in the translation, what will happen?
Yeah, then they'll get if there's no, then they'll get the default language. If they've selected Hindi but your flow doesn't have Hindi, then they can't get that line. They'll get the English language content. Yeah. Cool. So, in interest of time, we have another new, like, so this is one way. We have another easier way, so like of onboarding people. So for that, we have Atira who will share the demo. Atira, are you there? Should I give you this presenting rights? Sorry, you can. I think you can share already. Yeah. So just I'll set the context. I think Jobin put the thing out that onboarding people involves either of the three methods. Like right now, like either you have to get them to save your number, send the keyword, so they have to remember the number and the keyword, scan the QR and press send, because just scan the QR itself won't start the conversation. Similarly for click the link. So considering all these problem statements, so everything has at least 2 or 3 steps involved. So we have a very cool innovation done by Reap Benefit folks, which I'll let them to talk about more. Yeah, over to you, Atira.
Yeah, shall I share my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
I hope the screen is visible. I'm just presenting it.
Yes.
Visible. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So hi everyone. I'm Adira. I'm a, data and tech tinkerer, and I'm from Reap Benefit. So today, like we'll just go through how we have used the missed call feature to onboard new users. Before that, I will just introduce the overall mission of Reap Benefit. So in Reap Benefit, our mission is to nurture youth change makers through consistent change making actions, which helps them to build their agency and 21st century skills. So these youth change makers, we call them soul ninjas, and soul ninjas build their agency and 21st century skills through three different ways. One is by acting on local data, then the other way is to build local solutions, and then they also engage in local campaigns. And it is this is where the Glific also come into action, where we have our tech platforms through which we mobilize these youth change makers, helping them to activate their skills and build agency, and to take action with help of mentoring and also behavioral nudges. So this is one of the feature like we have used since like couple of years actually. Uh, the first three methods actually we have used ever since we have started engaging users through our chatbot. Like one way, as you know, is to the user directly saves the number and then sends a keyword, which may be like a hello or hi, to onboard on the chatbot. And the other method, like we will share a link with the targeted users, and they can click on the link, and then they have to click on or like click on send button to actually send the keyword to onboard and opt in into the system. And the other method was, instead of a link, like they can scan the QR code, which is also like taking them to the chatbot, and then they have to click on the keyword and click on the send button. So all these three methods, what we observed was users sometimes just click on the link, for example, click on the link, and they the next step which they have to do is to send the hi or hello or whatever keyword they have to do in order to be onboarded or opt in into the chatbot. They were not doing that. So in that case, they are not actually onboarded to the chatbot or to our system, right, to further engage them throughout. So that was actually not a very good design, but the alternative way which the Glific had introduced was to use an IVR provider to give a missed call to the respective number, and then the user can initiate like they get a message at the initial onboarding message, and then the user can further interact with the chatbot to complete the onboarding process. But here as well, like the initial interaction should go from the user. That is, the user will give a missed call to the number. So here the number can be actually we use Exotel with Glyphic. So Exotel can provide alternative numbers which can be used to give a missed call, or otherwise the option is we can also include a call forwarding. For example, we have a chatbot, Sol Ninja Mentor chatbot. For the Sol Ninja Mentor chatbot, there is a number. So if I set up a call forwarding in Sol Ninja Mentor chatbot to the Exotel number, the Exotel actually calls an API in the Glyphic and then sends the first interacting message to the user, which then onboards the user. So I will just show a demo of this soon after this, but I also will go through one more feature we have been using and which was modified recently. So this is nothing but the geolocation mapping of the user. We have a number of nudges or behavioral nudges where we had to actually collect the information of the location from which the user was interacting with the chatbot. For example, in case of different audits, mapping streets, then trying to point out a black spot in their locality, or doing some water audit, etc. So recently GP Gautam Prakash was saying like we have at least used 24,000 times the geolocation calls. So that means like the user, usually what we had to do on the WhatsApp was the user had to click on the share button and then select the location and then share. But Glyphic have introduced this interactive message option for geolocation mapping, through which the user can click on the interactive message, which directly takes them to the option where they can share the location and share their location to further interact with the chatbot. So these three steps are nothing but how you can use this feature in your Glyphic flows, basically. Like add an interactive message with location sharing option. Then you can also set up a webhook where you can use a function request and use geolocation as the function parameter, and then share the latitude, set up the latitude and longitude parameters inside the function body, and your geolocation geocoding, reverse geolocation is ready. And next we'll just quickly go through a demo. Like if you are interested, you can also take part in this. Just give a missed call to this particular number, 08047 190 I will also show a demo which yeah, I'm just pasting this number if anyone is interested, but otherwise you are still able to see my screen, I hope.
Yes, Atira.
Yeah,
Yes.
now it's showing my WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a missed call to this number, which helps me to map the dengue hotspot near my place. So yeah, right now I'm giving a missed call. Yeah, so you can see when I gave this missed call, a new message have come in my Soul Ninja bot, and I can further interact with the chatbot. So in this mapping, we have also included geolocation tagging, which I will also just give. So I'm going to yeah, this is not visible in my desktop, but I have opted the interactive message, and I'm just currently sharing my current location using the interactive message, and then you can see it shows the address of my location with all the details here. I hope this helps. So these are two features which we had implemented, and like the impact was using this for multiple projects. Like we had used it earlier in our Delhi Pariyar Mitra project, and uh, Swachhata Sanj in Punjab, and now we are also currently using it in Jal Doot program, which is in Assam, and recently also in Nanded Zilla Parishad project. So if I talk about one of the scale project, Jal Jeevan Mission Jal Doot program, in a span of 1 year using this missed call system, we were able to onboard about 29,300 students, which we call them as Jal Doots, and out of which at least for 24,000 Jal Doots who actually completed the onboarding process, which also helped in creating impact in the overall program. So that's just an example. And if you have also gone through the dengue demo using this particular number, you can also see you had shared your location with yes or no, like whether there was a dengue hotspot or not, dengue cases reported or not. And this data actually goes into a crowdsourced data platform named Samaj Data, which is available to the public to see and understand the citizen generated data. So I can also share with you a link where we have just added how we have done this particular mapping. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Atira.
Yeah, I will
Thank you
share
so much.
the link in the
Yeah.
chat. Yeah.
So Kiran, the cost associated with missed call feature is, so Exotel allows certain number of free exophones, and after that, I think there's an Exotel cost. It allows certain free, but if there's more than if you have more than virtual phones, then there is some cost associated with the number of virtual phones you have. And then for each, when someone gives a missed call, what it does is it triggers Glific to start the conversation. So the start of the conversation is the HSM message, so it'll be that cost of them starting the conversation. Like it'll be like a business initiated conversation for you guys. Yeah. So those are the costs involved. Like there's some Exotel costs. I'm not like, I'll have to go deep and I can find that out and share it with you. But if anyone uses Exotel, maybe you can share what's the cost of per exophone or per exophone, how many calls and stuff like that. Okay.
Tejas,
Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
like in Reap Benefit, we use it for different project, as I had told. So if we can use multiple Exotel numbers with one subscription, if it's, I think it's around 5,000 rupees it's coming. Or if we need multiple numbers, again, like it cost according to that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So maybe Atira, you can after this share some details about the cost of Exotel, and that'll be super helpful. All right. Thank you so much. We'll quickly go ahead, just in the interest of time. Um, so, um, so like I think this missed call is something really useful for. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Right. So, missed call feature, I think many of the new NGOs and also someone who has not tried it before, you should definitely try to see, especially for those audience for whom the audience is slightly, if you feel like they're less tech savvy, then this is really helpful. Now, going to the next bit, like just giving a quick introduction, like many times as soon as someone says, like we ask all these different questions, right? Like these are some of the basic things that we end up asking: consent, message, language preference, name, gender, or some ID, so that you can identify, link them back to a program or something, and geographic information. So this is actually a lot of information. And there is a way for us to, like, if it's possible, if you don't need gender, if you don't need some of the things, you should definitely like think about like not asking this information, or asking it in a cascaded manner after a certain value demonstration. But if there's a way to, like skip all some of these, let's say like gender, school, geographic information, if there's, there's some certain ways you can get around that also. So we have some demos of that as well. So next, we have Gautam. He'll share about how Quest Alliance has done integration to onboard teachers or stakeholders from school using an open database, which is the UDICE number of the schools. Yeah, over to you, Gautam.
Thanks. Can you just share screen?
Oh, okay, I'll continue to share my screen.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Right. So I'm sure all of you have seen issues when you've gotten users to users here can be teachers, students, can be parents, when you ask them to register, right? Where you have to ask their geography, their school name, if they know UDICE details, anything at all. You will see that there'll be variations in the way they spell things. So typically there'll be a lot of errors in the data. Also the number of questions, geography, right? You can't just directly write your GP or your, which is Gram Panchayat, village, or anything else. So you will have to write multiple things: state, district, and then school name. So we realized that it's creating a lot of steps, and we wanted to make it super easy. So let me show you a very simple demo in the next page. Could you full screen the stages? Done. So this whole video is 22 seconds. From the time I started typing, it was the 13th second. So basically in 10 seconds, you can get details on their state, district, cluster, block, village, school name, right? Which is about 6 questions. And how do we do this? Tejas, can you full screen this, please? On the right side, I've shown you how we use at Quest this particular flow. It's basically an API we've written after storing this data on our database, right? You ask the users to start by typing their UDICE, and we tell them if you don't know the UDICE, hit skip. If they know the UDICE, it goes to the right side flow where we store the UDICE in their contact profile. We then run it through the API and retrieve all these fields. In case they don't know the UDICE code, then we go on the left side where we say, hey, share your location. That will save a set of questions. Then we ask them to write the school name, because later you can always figure out which school they are based on the geodata. Right? This is one way we have eased onboarding students. This year it will be used with about 40 to 60,000 students, give or take. Right? Next page stages. Now I saw, so some of you wanted to add people into collections. What we have done is, as soon as they store as soon as you pull up the school's UDICE data, all of these values we write into contact variables. And then there's a background flow which runs every day, adding people to different collections based on their contact variables. So if state name has Karnataka, it goes to contact the collection called state-Karnataka. Right. So this happens every day. So data is also clean. Right. Now, what do you do when you have an app, when you have a set of teachers already registered? You have most of their details, right? You have their school, UDIS, you know their name, you know all the things, but do you want to ask them to type it again? So here what Quest has done is as soon as you type the keyword, the first node is it reads from the Google Sheet. So it takes the user's phone number, reads the Google Sheet where the key value is the user's phone number, next to which there is all these details. So Tejas, can you zoom in a bit? Yeah. Can you scroll up a bit, please? Thank you. So as soon as the user's phone number is right, it checks the name, checks the designation, and checks the school's UDIS code. If you say yes, then it retrieves the rest of the information as an FIA where it says, okay, are you working in class 7, 8, 9, 10? So you'll see some saying yes and some saying no. So if it is yes, it'll ask you questions related to class 6. If it is no, it'll not ask you those questions. That's one. Two, if you say, however, where it gives you the details, are you Gautam from master trainer from this school? If you say no, then it manually runs you through the registration details. So this is how Quest has built fail safes. I'll pause for questions.
So essentially, what you can take away from this is if there's an open database or if there's a database of information, so like for example, there's chawls in Mumbai, or if there's like settlement numbers that are given and if that information is available online. So by asking them the settlement name or settlement number, you can map the rest of the details from the open database. For example, if there's like a hospital number or which is common, and based on that, you can map or Asha number, Asha, like if there's frontline
This
workers
can be,
who, yeah.
it can be used for anything like you're saying, Tejas. If you have volunteers, uh, uh, end users on the ground, teachers, parents, staff, officials, you have the details, you have an app. You can use the same logic to ease registration on the bot. The other side, where you have any sort of open database, you can mix it with the geolocation and make it very powerful. Location, shortlist the things, say if your hospital name, etc. Right? Anything with an identifier becomes very easy to identify. Right? We are using this right now for education, everything related to education as Quest. You can expand it to environment, medicine, legal, law, livelihood, anything at all.
Cool. If
Thank you.
there's no questions, yeah, thank you. We'll go ahead in interest of time. Then we have one more interesting thing done by Udyam. So I'll let Lata come and share a bit about the way they have implemented ways to ease onboarding for
Yes, thank you, Sirius. You share this.
yeah. I think we may have to extend by maybe 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. I hope that's okay. Yeah. Thank you for your patience. Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Lata, and I'm pleased to present on behalf of them a use case that we have implemented using Glific's integration. That is how to display a list with multiple items in a message using Glific. So let me give you a brief idea about our use case. So this method we adopt when we do not have master data of our students and teachers during registration. So this is the process that we do to get their data. Basically, what is the requirement is that whatever the master data we have, we need to show all the district that is present in the master data. And on the basis of the user input, we need to show them the bundles. And on the basis of the bundle they select, we need to show them the school list. We are using this method because we do not give them users to open text option because it is very inaccurate and it's take a lot of time to clean the data. By this method, we are keeping our data in proper way and more readable form and better for analysis. So after getting the input from the user, we save all these data in our contact fields. So this is how the list appears on the WhatsApp. Let me show you a demo video for this, how the process works.
So just for context, Udyam onboards close to like 30,000-40,000 students. And it's not possible for us to for them to have information on every student, so they can provide it. And they work across states. So a state will have multiple districts. Within the district, there'll be multiple. Within one district, there'll be multiple mandals, and within the mandal, there'll be different schools. So how to show each of the thing, and if you try to create lists or like interactive messages, it becomes extremely difficult. So this is how this is what they are showing one of the experiences that they have created, with which based on the district they'll get respective mandals within the based on the mandal they'll get respective schools, and then based on then they can get select their own specific school without getting any kind of data errors. Like like you can imagine same person, like two different people typing Bangalore in different ways. Someone will type Bangalore, someone will type Bengaluru. So similarly, so this is one of the very interesting solutions that they have done to make sure that data is clean and also consumable by young people, especially students, and someone who may or may not be really great with technology. So yeah, over to you, Lata. Thanks for the.
This is not the list feature thesis, right?
Yeah, this is not the list because in list you can do only 10. So yeah, and usually mandals will be more than 10. So they had to come up with something different. So they have come up. They'll share more about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are showing list in a message.
It's a send message node, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Normal message means that we send to the contact. Like in that we are taking the. So yeah, means how this process works. Let's see the background process for this. This is like I have pasted an image, like a screenshot here, which shows that how we get the master data from our operation team. So this is the format that we get. So what we have done is that we have written a cloud function that is triggered to the Glific's webhook integration. So typically the master data is stored in Google Sheet, and we use Google Sheet APIs to read the data from the sheet. When we receive a request via the webhook, the function read entire sheet or whatever the specific range that we want it to read, it read that thing. And based on the incoming JSON request, the function perform the requested task. For example, if we want to fetch all the district from the sheet, we need to pass the requested thing in the JSON body, and we will get in return all the unique district that is present in the sheet. So yeah, this is how it works.
Right. So just to share for everyone, like the basic requirement is if you have a even so for example, there was a case for Apnalaya where they had to do district, zone, ward, and then chawl number. So they had to show this type of information for the user to select from. So the idea here is if you have a mapping like this in a Google Sheet where the district names are there, within each district, what are the mandal names? For the mandal names, what is the school name? Or so similar, if you have a mapping like this in Google Sheet, it's possible to create share how do you say options which are large number, which is very intuitive for your end user to just enter the number and select it from. But the requirement is you should have a good mapping, very clean data, which is what they call as master. What do you call this, Renata? Sorry. Yeah.
Master data.
Yeah, master data. So if you have a master data like this, then with the help of the function that they have developed and with the Glific webhooks, it's possible for us to create a very similar onboarding experience for everyone else as
well. Yes. So if someone want to try, they can give it a try. And yeah, means that's it. That's how the things work. If someone wants to ask any question, possible to share this function for webhook or adapt it for Glific. Very useful for registration.
To Lata, maybe you can connect with Jacob Jacob, what I know is that they have this function developed and they are deploying it in the Google Cloud function. And they are open to sharing it. Like I think you may have to modify the code itself to suit your need. But yeah, we can help you in doing that.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have deployed that function in our Google Cloud.
Yeah. Okay. And so thank you, Lata. I'm happy to take any more questions, but I'll just quickly show one more demo, which already Atira is like kind of shown. But one last thing is, so one is you ask users to enter and each step by step, and if you have like a very specific requirement of, let's say, mandal to district to mandal to schools, or district to zone to ward to chawl number. So something similar, but other times it may not be that specific, and you just want to know like general information of general citizens or that you onboard. And the problem statement again is that people enter different names and for different things. So we have introduced this Google Maps reverse location API. So all you have to do is get the user to send their current location. So based on current location, whatever details are there in Google Maps, like whatever location details are there, example, state, country, the pin code, address, ward number, city, district. So all those information will come up. This is free to use right now in Glific, and the documentation is there. Essentially, it is pulling information from Google Maps, like the information that Google Maps has, like location information. So when I say country corresponds to, so Google Maps has its own like terminology, like it is, because it is a global thing. So it stores certain information for each latitude and longitude. There are KML files, and for each latitude and longitude, there are certain information that is stored. So this country, administrative area level 1, level 2, level 3, locality, postal code, and formal address. These are the things we are pulling right now as per the Google Maps API. There's also there are many times the requirements that you may not be okay with these mapping, and you have your own custom KML files which enrich the information of a latitude and longitude based on those KML files. So ReBenefit has introduced a very ReBenefit is maintaining an open source repository called Samaj Data. So with that you can load your KML files and also get that based on the location, get those like very specific other geographic parameters. So if you're in if anyone who knows about mapping in KML files and things like that and want to get more specific, that's also possible. Just leaving it out here for the recording. Yeah, before I go ahead, and we go into the last bit of it, happy to take any questions on any of the things that we have, that you have. So, Jacob, yeah, we had explored it. Ola had slightly less coverage as compared to Google Maps, and also it was coming out to be more expensive for us to try. So we thought that we should go with Google Maps because right now it's less expensive. From what I remember, yeah, from the research that we did. So we tried a bunch of things, Google, Ola, I think also OpenStreetMaps, and there was one more mapping thing. I forgot the name right now, but yeah, we tried a couple of like 4-5 options. Then we went ahead with Google Maps for now, because it had the most coverage, considering that there are NGOs now who are in Africa and also Caribbean regions that are using Glific. So we thought might like try to go with something more global. Yeah. Happy to take more questions if you have any. If you don't have any questions, maybe you can put no questions or things like that. But feel free to connect, and like maybe this is like an introduction to using these features. We would really help We would love to help you all to ease your onboarding, simplify your onboarding, and make sure you're able to reach more people and get more of them converted into your users who stay and interact with your chatbot for a longer time. Yeah.
Pages.
Yeah.
Hi, quickly, Jobin.
Yeah.
From how is this different from the current Google location we are using?
Are you using this in your flows?
I think so. We took it from the which flow was that? During the workshop, you guys showed some flow where some sample flows where API was using. So then we use this for getting locations of migrant workers in Kerala. And is it different from that? I think, but this is the same only. I think.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
The same, right?
I can have a look at your flow once, and I can just make sure it's the same. But yeah, it's the same only. It's not anything different.
Okay. I was just wondering. So also we would like to connect with both, especially with the last person who present. I think Lata only. So it will be helpful for us to map districts and states in Odisha, especially source location, and so that the migrant can easily enter that data rather than them typing. And
got it.
the thing is that none of us are engineers, so we are finding it a little difficult to understand how. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. So, Jopin and Joy, like before you connect, like if it's possible for you to get that mapping, so maybe you can just think about, okay, what is the minimum information we need? Like we need the district, we need the city, and we need the district, we need the village, and we need the ward. So,
that we
whatever
have.
information that
As
you
in
have,
that we have in a
and
Google Sheet.
oh, okay, yeah,
This
I
is
think then we
for a
can,
migrant who is in Kerala and who want to put their home address. So that won't be possible through the Google Sheet. So we will have
maps, correct.
Google Maps. So we will have to give them options like like she was presenting. So these are the 510 districts, and selecting district then the like block coming up, panchayat coming up, village coming up, sorted.
Correct. Excellent.
We have
Okay,
the
cool.
data. We have the data with us, as in we have in the Google Sheet, master village, whatever sheet we have. So
Got it. Cool.
we'll have to integrate that to the let's say pilot.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Let's yeah. Great. Lata, you are going to become problem solver for other NGOs also now.
So how will I be able to connect with Lata?
I'll connect you guys. We'll set up a meeting.
Okay. Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. Okay.
Lata, it will be super helpful if you can write a small blog on how you have done it. Like it will be very helpful for us to share with other NGOs.
Okay.
Yeah, we can co-write with you. Writing is an issue.
Yes. Means we try on different methods also. Like we have moved out of this method. We are using some different method, like importing this data in our tables, BigQuery tables, and fetching data from there also.
Oh, nice.
Using the sheet also.
Yeah.
With the limitation of Google Sheet API, whether it is like we have increased it, but sometimes webhook fails now. That's why.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. While we can discuss further, can you all please fill in the poll that's launched on your screens? It'll be very helpful for us to understand what's working and what's not, so that we can improve in our upcoming webinars and make it more aligned to your needs. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay, just last bit of announcements. So first of all, thank you all. Thank you, Atira. Thank you, Lata, for sharing. Lata, if you can turn on your video for a minute, we will like to say thank you. And
next time.
Okay, fine.
Not the first question these days.
Okay, fine. No worries. Okay, thank you, Tatira. Thank you, Lata. I really appreciate you sharing and contributing to the community. Maybe you can also leave your email IDs in the chat box. So if anyone directly wants to connect with you, I think we'll be okay for that as well. Maybe you can just leave your email IDs in the thing, and if you're comfortable sharing your email IDs for other folks to connect with you to discuss. Joel, I can connect you to Lata. We can have that conversation together.
Yeah, sure. And we will need someone who knows technology also.
Yeah. So, Lata, I'm sharing your email ID because you sent it to me directly by mistake.
Yeah, I guess by mistake I did that.
Yeah, cool. So just quick a few things. Like I think last one announcement. Sorry, we have gone 7 minutes overboard. Like Meta has increased the pricing for the utility for the HSMs, highly structured messages. For marketing messages, it is increased. For utility HSMs, it is decreased. And also because and it is implementing a frequency capping for marketing HSMs. We have written here a blog on how you can get more of your HSMs to be approved under utility HSMs. So please give it a read. It has like if you scroll down, this has like actual messages that we have like for some of the like stuff that use cases that all the NGOs use. Like for sending weekly content, for reminding to complete an action, for joining or volunteering at events, and doing that in Hindi, any type of thing. So we have shared some examples on like how you can apply and get more utility HSMs approved. This will reduce your cost drastically, and also it'll make sure that the message that you're wanting to send, it reaches all the users, because Meta is implementing something called as frequency capping on marketing HSMs. So you can read more about this in this blog. We'll share it. It's there on the Glific website under blogs. Also, you can find it on LinkedIn, and you can find it in the newsletter. Please give it a read. It's super helpful, I think, and it's very important right now considering the price increase and also like frequency capping. And last one is our team, Glific team, is doing an internal offline sprint from 20th to basically next month. So we will be available on Discord, but we may not be able to respond as promptly as possible, like earlier as we do normally. So it may take some. So please expect delayed response. You'll also be notified on that on Discord. But yeah, with that, that's like the end of this month's level up. Thank you all so much for joining, and feel free to connect further with the organizations who shared. And if you have something interesting that you would like to share with the community, with the NGOs, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to put you on the spotlight and have you share. That's it for today. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Feel free to drop off.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jopin Joel.